everybody, you have McGann of the Game Flames here on the Fanily channel on YouTube. Across from me is my husband Shin.
Hi!
And he is going to tell you how we're going to play a Surplus of Sloths, which is by Weird Giraffe Games. I believe it's not out yet because we have a, not quite prototype, but what would you call this?
I would call this a production copy. It's close enough to what they're going to have at the tail end. I believe they said that because they've got little things like this absolutely adorable player token, this is not the final box size. Everything's going to fit a lot nicer.
Okay, so my love, please tell us how we're going to play this game.
Well, I've got several of the basics set up already, so we're going to be showing the two-player version of this today because it's yourself and myself, my lovely darling. To do that, there are actually 5 families of sloths, and I already have 3 of the others in here, and I just wanted to show off the remaining 2 because they're not going to be in our game.
Oh no, do we not have the cute little tidbit?
We can use the cute little tidbits. The tidbits are optional, so we're going to very quickly incorporate them. Now this has a very different scoring mechanism than a lot of what I'm used to seeing. So I will say, as you might have seen earlier, each family of sloths has 10 cards labeled 1 to 7 and 3 wild X cards. The X's do seem very important to the final scoring of the game, so I will encourage you to draft those. But basically, the story I have cooked up in my head as to what we're actually doing here is we are conservationists helping a whole bunch of little sloth families after a big rainstorm.
Aww.
So the river has flooded. It's going to be right here. We'll have 2 rows for it. And then there's the safety net, the surplus net, at the very bottom of the river. And we're going to basically be pulling sloths out of the river to make sure that they don't get too crowded at the bottom net. And then we'll reunite them with their families. Okay, so we'll give this a very quick shuffle. We're going to start out with 3 cards each.
And we can look at them?
Yes. The objective is you want to get runs of sloths, so consecutive numbers. And again, the X's are wild, but if you have a 1, a 3, and a 5, that's not going to do you any good. You need to have a connecting sequence of numbers. Okay?
But it doesn't matter what family the numbers are in?
No, you are going to want runs in that same family. Okay. I'm going to keep the person who goes first token, just for the moment. I believe the rules say that either the person who has petted a sloth recently or has just had a slow day should be the one that goes first. But first things first, look at your hand. Now we need to stock the surplus net first. So I want you to decide which one of the ones in your hand you don't want right now.
Okay.
And put it face down in front of you, okay?
Okay.
1, 2, 3, flip. Okay, so this is going to start the surplus net. We're going to have one of each of the families. So at the moment we have red. They were kind enough to mention what kind of sloths these are. The red ones are pygmy sloths.
And this one's a Karen sloth that asked for your manager?
Fine. The Karen sloth is scientifically known as a brown-throated sloth.
Is that after she strangles the manager?
Now we're going to create the river. Whole bunch of sloths swimming down river. Okay, we got one of the babies.
I love him.
1, 2, 3. Okay, so here's what's going to happen. Whoever has the active player token, they will choose one of the 2 rows to draft from. They will draft first, the other player will draft second, the remaining one goes down into the surplus area.
How do we get them out of surplus?
That will happen at the end of the game.
Okay.
Then we will refill that row, whichever one we drafted from, and then I will pass the token to you, and the process repeats until we empty the deck.
Okay, let's go.
Okay, based on what I have in my hand, I'm going to want to draft from the top row. I want this guy.
Oh, good, because I love this guy right here.
Okay.
Sorry, little baby, I'll come for you soon. Is the baby hanging on to the big one? Is that what's happening?
I like to think so. So, the baby does have a different draft mechanic. If you draft one, not if you get it from surplus, if you draft one, that card goes into your hand. It acts as a 0, but it acts as a 0 for any family, so it can be part of a sequence. But when you draft one, you can then take one card from your hand and add it to the surplus.
Okay, so it's my turn to pick?
Correct. Well, you will decide what row we want to draft from.
I think I want this one, and so we'll activate this little,
You may, you don't have to, but you may now add any card from your hand to the
Let me
surplus
clarify.
net.
Extra cards not part of a family are not good for me by the end?
Correct.
Okay, then I'm going to put...
Okay, this is part of this family.
Oh.
So we'll put them here. Now, they can score points at the end. It's just all going to depend.
And so then you draft?
2. Oh, but if I draft a baby, that 1's going to be really important. But then I won't have the 2. I will go with the 2 in hopes of getting 3 or something else
so
later.
This one goes down here.
Okay, so now we'll replace. Oh my.
It's a lot of those Karen sloths hanging around.
Okay, well, might as well get that out of the way then. So we'll definitely want one of these X's.
Well, darn. If we're doing that, I better go for this one.
Okay, and you go down here, friend. You get the overall mechanics are fairly simple. They're just a little different at the end. So, what next?
Oh, goodness. I think I want to keep trying for these little cutesies. What are these are the pygmy ones? The white, tiny white, well, the almost tiniest white, the next to tiniest white ones?
The ones with the red color are the pygmy sloths. And they're hanging out in the red mangroves.
What are the little rainbow moon ones that are 0 points? The tiny ones?
Yeah, those are the babies, and they're going to count for any family. So they technically aren't any of these families.
It's like an Eevee, and based on how you love it is what it grows up into.
Okay, this guy goes down here. Yeah, I feel like this is a whole bunch of tough choices have to be made. Okay, I'm going to choose the top row, and I want this X as well.
Then I guess I am going after the baby. And I don't want to discard this time.
Yeah, and as you guys can see, the game will go fairly quickly. If we had more people, we'd have more families in the rows. You always want to have one more in the row than number of players that you have. I believe. Does your go, dear?
Yes. So we'll try that.
Oop.
Okay, then I guess I'll speak with the manager on this one.
Yeah, we are not apparently big fans of the pale-throated sloths. We're going to have, looks like 2 more drafts because we're almost out of cards.
I just can't resist that X. It's too important.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I will also go for that. Okay, so we can't form another row. They go to the surplus. I believe I will draft a bebe. I will choose not to wait. Maybe, yes, actually, I will put this down here. I don't know if that's going to help me or not. We'll see.
Okay, I'm going to take this one.
So this is where things get interesting. This is where scoring happens. Starting with red. How long of a sequence of red cards do you have? I have a sequence of 3. So reveal yours.
I can use the zeros now?
Yes.
Then
if you want.
Then I've got 8.
Oh no, you can't double up on the 0. At least I don't think you can. It only mentions sequence, so since it can't be 1, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Dang. Okay, so these all get discarded, but these, because you have the larger sequence, I believe that the remaining family then comes over to you, because that's where the more of the relatives are. So you get bonus points for these.
Okay, and I don't get any points for the ones...
But neither do I.
Okay.
So you're going to get points because you made the longest sequence. Okay, so going to the next one. The blue ones, the brown-throated sloths, the Karens as you call them. How long of a sequence have you made with them?
2.
Okay. I made a sequence of 4. So now these get discarded, and I'll score these. This is going to kind of be the whole tasting and judgment thing. How big a sequence do you have there?
I can do 1.
I can do 3.
Ah.
This is probably going to cement a victory for me, only because this is a big stack, but we're still going to go over the scoring rules.
I assume you just add the points together?
Not quite. Yes, but if there's an X in there, it becomes a multiplier.
Darn.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I got 9. I'm pretty sure you got this one.
So, yes, you get 2 plus 7 is 9. I get 0 plus 1 is 1, plus 3 is 4, plus 5 is 9, plus 7 is 16. 1, 5,
You can start
18, 23 times 3 for having 2 X's in there is...
It's a you win.
69?
Nice.
You understand where there's a drafting dichotomy. The X's are so valuable to make sequences,
Yeah.
but down here they make such a difference.
I will say, and
in the surplus net.
you guys at home watching this don't know, he really doesn't explain the rules to me much before we get started, so oftentimes I lose the first time we play a game because he understands what's happening. I have no idea. So I thought I was going to get to keep all my babies and add these to the pile.
You can keep your babies, they just don't count for points.
Yeah, I feel like that was an important piece. I wouldn't have invested so heavily in my pygmies. Oh yes, I would have. They're cute.
Well, everyone, that is Surplus of Sloths by Weird Giraffe Games. And I believe I saw there's going to be a Kickstarter for this going on very soon, possibly right now as you're watching this.
And just in case, I don't think we covered it, it does do 2 to 5 players, about 20 minutes per play. With 2 of us, it was quite a bit shorter, I think. And it's recommended for ages 8+. I'd say that's about fair, but you know your kids best, so
Yeah,
if you think a 6-year-old could handle it...
It's the math at the end that gets a little dicey, but I think younger could participate in this, I think.
Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching us. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, share. All of that good stuff is free for you and really helps us out. We will get a link in the description below for how you can either get this on Kickstarter or something to that effect. I'm not completely positive on the release date. We just got this in the mail.
Like I said, I believe they are gunning to start that Kickstarter very soon, something like the 13th, I believe. But thank you all for joining us. And of course, everyone, please remember, the family that plays together stays together. Thanks,
Bye.
everyone.
If you had fun watching today's video, don't forget to subscribe so that you can see more, and let us know in the comments what other videos you might want to see in the future. Also, don't forget to check out our other channel, The Fangirl, where we talk about all kinds of movies, TV shows, and even books and comics. But viewer discretion is advised. See you next time, Fanily members!